Hi, you guys. This is episode 12 of the Moonchild podcast, and today it's all about how do I get back to me in my marriage? How do I get back to myself and experience some freedom to be me? I get a lot of questions from men and women, actually, who have lost themselves completely in their marriage, and they feel like they're, how do you say that? They're not themselves anymore. They find themselves back as, well, I wouldn't say dependent, but so influenced by their husbands or wives' moods. And they feel like they've been distanced from themselves. So that's what this episode's all about. How to get back to me in my marriage. Well, for me, this has everything to do with freedom. And I think, for me, freedom is the highest value in life, next to joy. And those two, for me, are connected with love. And freedom is so important because only when you feel free, you can be you, right? Because when you feel like you're dependent on somebody else to make you happy, or when you feel like you're dependent on another person to, financially, or, just like a lot of people ask me like, oh, my husband or my wife, but I'm going to speak about husband because it's easier, but you can also put in wife, right? Or boyfriend or girlfriend, doesn't matter. He's always so grumpy, especially in the morning. So how do I deal with that and not get so affected by his mood? Well, the answer is, how can you be free in that situation? How can you free yourself out of that situation where you feel so influenced by somebody else? So it's all about freedom. And freedom is making your own space, right? It's how do you say that? It's creating your own space and have fun and joy. Be joyous in that space. So, like if I go back to the example of the husband being grumpy in the morning, there's two options here. You can't change his moodiness, right? You could ask him to change, but it usually never works. They will probably get even more grumpy because they feel like you're attacking them, right? So that doesn't work. You can ask him a million times, please don't be grumpy in the morning. It's not going to work. So please give up on that and find your freedom in this. So there's two options here. Either you get affected or you don't get affected. You won't let yourself get affected. And one of the things that I have experienced is that when I stay true to myself and true to my joy and my freedom, then I won't be so affected by the moods of my household. So the answer is to stay in your own energy and not be affected. So how do you do that? First of all, I meditate in the morning. I meditate to connect to me first. And a lot of people say, well, I don't have the time in the morning. Well, I used to say that too, but it's not true. If you want to find the time, you can find the time. So meditation, for me, it's really important. What do I do in that meditation? I just explore how I am feeling that day. So I want to connect to me first before I meet the rest of my family. So when I have a headache or when I'm grumpy myself, I can calm down, slow down, get back to me. And that makes me more independent of the rest of my family, because when I'm waking up and I'm not feeling so well, for instance, because I had a bad night or I wake up with a slight headache whatsoever, and then I go straight to my family and someone's grumpy, guess what happens, right? Guess what happens? For me, I get all over the place because I wasn't feeling so well anyway, and then my family's grumpy, so that never works. So step one for me is to meditate and maybe journal or just find a way to connect to you. So what is that for you? What can you do to connect to yourself first in the morning? It's really important. Then the second thing you can do, or what I do, is called a bubble meditation. And in this bubble meditation, I create a bubble for me, for my own energy. And this bubble that I'm in makes me connect to me and can't let someone else's energy in, because there is a membrane that I visualize. And if I'm affected by somebody else's energy, then I use this meditation. It's like 2 minutes, and I can feel all the energy flowing out of the membrane, and I won't let it come back. So I'm in this bubble with myself and my own energy. So again, and I'll put a link to the bubble meditation below this episode. So again, it's about staying connected to you and not getting affected by somebody else's mood. Now, this is just an example, right? But it accounts for everything. The trick here is to stay true to you, to stay in your own energy and to find your freedom in there. So what is it that you love to do? Step 3, what is it that you love to do? For me, I'm walking next to the coast in the Netherlands right now, and every Monday I want to do that because I want to go on an adventure. So today I asked my friend Jeroen to take his van. He has a camper van. I don't own one. I do want to get one, but I don't have it right now. So I asked him, can I borrow your camper van, because I want to go on an adventure today. For me, Monday is adventure day. I want to work. I want to get creative. I want to do stuff that I need to do for my business, but I want to do it in freedom. I want to do it independently of anyone. So what I do is I take the van or my car and I just go places, right? Right now I'm walking in the dunes. It's a beautiful day and I'm recording this episode for you guys. So what brings you joy? What brings you freedom? Find things in your marriage that you can do just for you. And if it's about claiming your space, it's about doing the things you love. And that will set you up for a much better, vibe, really. I'd say vibe, yeah. Much better vibe to do things just for you. And a lot of people ask me, so where do you find the time to do just things for you? Well, you just plan it, right? Like, there's 7 nights in a week. There are 7 days. And there's always some time to do something just for you. It doesn't have to be big. I mean, I'm trying to get out every Monday. I'm going to work. I'm just not going to be in the office. And I've created it myself. It's a big luxury. And it really, really gives me joy and freedom. But that's not for everybody, right? I actually started out a long time ago with drawing. Because I felt so stuck in life, and not specifically in marriage, but in life in general. My business wasn't what I wanted to do, and classic midlife crisis, I would say. I turned 40 and I thought, well, this is not how I want to spend the rest of my life. So what am I going to do about it? I got sick, and then I realized, I need to change. I don't want to live my life like this anymore. I don't want to sacrifice myself for work, for marriage, for nobody. I want to live in joy and freedom. So I went on creating that. And obviously that doesn't happen overnight, right? It takes time, it takes decisions, it takes bold decisions sometimes, because I decided I wanted to quit law. And I decided I wanted to have more connection. And I decided that I wanted to find more time for me, because I felt I was always either working or caring for my family. And I realized I lost connection to me. So that is a very important aspect. If you feel like you're stuck in marriage and you don't have space to be you, then start claiming it. And now that doesn't have to be egocentric. It doesn't have to be, forced. I mean, it's not about saying to your spouse, right, from now on I'm not going to be there on Monday night. No, you can just decide for yourself what you want to do, and you want to do something that brings you joy, right? You want to do something that brings you freedom, where you go like, oh, I'm looking so forward to this moment of, I don't know, having a bath, going for a walk with a dog. For me, it's the Monday, going on adventure every Monday. I mean, how cool is that? Well, for me, it's cool. But for you, it might be something totally different. But find one thing in your week that you can do for yourself. And that brings you nothing but joy and freedom. And then go to your spouse and say, look, I really need some space for me. And I'm thinking of doing this and this and that. And I would like to do it then and then. Is that okay with you? And then he will probably say, sure, honey, that's fine. And so you don't have to force it on your spouse. You just ask him, right? You just ask, look, I really want to do this. Can you help me out here? Because I need you to, I don't know, babysit the kids, get the kids from school, do this and this and that in the time that you would normally do something else, right? So for instance, I started drawing because I realized that's what I really loved doing when I was a kid. And so I started drawing it. I asked my husband, look, I found this great drawing course and it's on a Monday night. It's ridiculously far away, well, according to Dutch standards, where everything is close by. I needed to drive for an hour and a half to get there. But I thought, like, this is the perfect teacher, this is the perfect course, and oh well, it's 1.5 hours away. So I decided to just go for it. And I asked my husband, can you cover for me on Monday night? Because then I need to put the kids in bed so I can get to this drawing course. Is that okay with you? And he said, sure, honey, that's fine. So I claimed my space, not by forcing it, but by just asking. And I feel that a lot of people who struggle in marriage forgot to ask. They forgot how to ask and how to connect to themselves first and then ask. They just want to, they lost their freedom totally. And this is what you do to get it back. Find that one thing that you do just for you. And then just go and ask. Go and ask when you can do it and if that's okay with the other person. And that's claiming your space. So, to make a long story short, what do you do to get back to you in your marriage? Well, the first thing is connect to yourself, especially in the morning. So, because in the morning your brain is still in this half sleepy state, right? And it's the best time to connect to yourself. But if you want to do it some other time during the day, fine with me. Connect to yourself in the morning. Do the bubble meditation because it really, really protects you from other energies during the day. So whenever you feel like someone else is taking over your energy, do the bubble meditation. Or if you know that somebody else is going to take over your energy, then do it beforehand so that you'll be free and you can just stay in your own energy when you feel it coming up, right? And tip number 3 is do something that brings you freedom and joy in your marriage, just for you, and go and ask for it. Don't force it, just ask, and it'll probably won't be such a problem as you think right now. So that is the 3 tips for you today. I hope it really, really helps. And if you want to learn more, go to my website, link below, and I'll see you there. Till next episode. Bye-bye.